very small island, but somehow he managed to keep well hidden. And after about a year, I managed to get in touch with him. We agreed to do a shoot, which we did at the Muros, this big fort that's overlooking Havana. It was a huge outdoor concert he played at. And after the rehearsal, we went down by the water with Havana in the background, and we did an interview, which was my first interview, which is where he played Havana Me at the end of that. And we talked for almost 5 hours. And we just had this incredible bond, and I realized at that time that, I mean, aside from the fact that Carlos is just one of the most prolific writers I've ever heard, and greatest writers, his songs are amazing. I realized that he would be a great artist for me to, do a drill down with, in effect, an artist that really represented Cuba, and him having the kind of respect and impact on the people of Cuba. He's really the voice of the country. So that's where I came to the film.
The people behind me, behind the curtain, can you guys keep it down, please? Thank you. Jackson, do you want to talk a little bit about how you met Carlos? What was it about his music that spoke to you so much that you wanted to do this collaboration?
Well, we just seen an hour and a half of what it is about his music that we all find so compelling. I just say that it's been a joy to get to know him, and that I knew some, I owe a debt of gratitude to some friends of mine who not only translated his songs to me initially, but were also involved in filming him. And in some of the film was used, it was footage that Juan was able to use. So one of the things that is not very clear in the movie, if you'll allow me to this slight critique, is that this first concert that Carlos was able to do in Havana, coming back, and I think there's some Cubans here, or people from Cuban here, but I gotta say that to see him in Cuba, to play for Cubans, is a very emotional thing. To see him play in the United States for Cubans is also very emotional. And whereas I started to go with him to some concerts in the United States, we were able to arrange like a 2-week concert tour. By the way, like being in a van with him and his band was one of the most joyous and hilarious times I've ever had. But every night, I'd help present him and help translate him. But when I saw him with an audience of Cubans where they didn't need my translation at all, but who would find themselves standing up in the middle of the concert with tears streaming down their face, and he was expressing something about their story, about their common story that was not expressed anywhere else. So when Ron says he saw that Carlos would be a good window into the Cubans together, he had some musicians there and they were playing for me, and they said, well, okay, you sing us a song, and I started to play this song, and slowly they started playing, and they were playing exactly the way my band would play. Because they've heard that. They've heard it, and they're looking at me like, is this right? And it's like, because they're, believe it or not, I'm exotic. They're not exotic. They know everything, and we are like some sort of, we're travelers from a, remote part of the galaxy, by our own doing, So the way we celebrate is the way we always celebrate. It's the way we celebrate in Woodstock. It's the way we've celebrated, rock and roll. And Carlos is a product of the last 20, 30 years of music in the world. Not simply like a direct lineage from those, Cuban musicians, but he's really, nothing has prevented him from hearing, the best the United States has to offer. The best that, somebody made the analogy, like, what if in order to hear U2, you had to go to Ireland? How big would they be then? How big would U2 be if you had to go to Ireland to see them play? So that, in a very real sense, that's That's my response to what I think you asked, was like how to celebrate Cuba is to go there, when they get there, get them to come here. And I feel really happy when I heard the applause for the film, and I realized how many people have seen such a, concentrated, burst of information about Cuba and about Carlos. It's very, it's very heartening.
Do you want to repeat that, Ron?
Yeah, I think the question was why wasn't Pablo Milanez or Silvio Rodriguez interviewed as part of the film? And a lot of it is just timing with these things. I mean, I was in Cuba. We almost contacted, at one point Pablo was just not well when I was doing a lot of the filming and wasn't really available up for it. And Silvio and I just kind of missed each other. And at one point I thought that was really important, that I should get them. And yet, at the same time, I think that, Carlos' story is sufficient without them. I mean, their influence is there, it's in the film, it's in his music, it's in the culture. So I believe they're actually in the film.
Any other questions? Can you stand up, please, and speak up?
Carlos, I was curious if your father hadn't died when he had, and he lived for another 20 years, and your brother hadn't given you permission, would you have been able to do your passion and follow your bliss, or would you be an engineer?
Ed, can you repeat that by mic? No, on the mic.
Okay. Está preguntando si no había muerto tu papá, si tú podrías haber...
Let's get
I'm sorry.
You can whisper to Carlos, I'll repeat the question. So the question was, she asked Carlos if his father hadn't died when he did, and if his brother didn't give him permission to not be an engineer, would he have been an engineer? Or does he think he still would have been a musician?
Yeah.
Cuando descubres la pasión por la música,
When I discovered the passion for music,
da igual si eres político, ingeniero, médico, cirujano.
I couldn't have been a surgeon or an engineer.
Cuando descubres la pasión,
When I discovered the passion,
no como hobby, sino como pasión.
not like a hobby, but like a real passion.
Cuando todo el resto del día y del año solo piensas en música.
Like when for the whole day, for the whole year, all you think about is music.
Cuando todo lo que escuchas, lo que lees,
Everything you hear, everything you read,
lo que te cuentan, lo quieres convertir en música.
everything they tell you winds up becoming music.
Estás poseído.
It's a following. It's a
Más
call.
allá de los que te rodean,
It's a calling from farther on,
de los vivos y los muertos.
farther than from the living or the dead.
Yo estudié ingeniería
I studied engineering
por ser un hijo obediente con mi padre,
to be an obedient son to my father.
pero aunque no practico ninguna religión,
And even though I don't practice any particular religion,
parece que algún Dios
it looks like some God
decidió que mi padre muriera en el año 82,
decided that my father should die in 1982,
justo un 14 de febrero,
exactly on the 14th of February,
Día del Amor.
St. Valentine's Day.
Justo yo estaba en el hospital con una guitarra
I was at the time in the hospital with a guitar,
y desde entonces comenzó mi otra vida,
and right then my other life began,
abiertamente dedicada al teatro y a la música.
dedicated from then on to theater and to music.
Pero si no hubiera muerto mi padre,
But if my father had not died,
seguramente me hubiera ido de mi casa.
I'd have gone home. I'd have just gone home.
It's so obvious that someone like Carlos would have wound up singing no matter what. I mean, it's just clear,
Okay. Yes, music.
Thank you.
Do stick around for the music.
Somos
músicos.
Okay,
We're
I think-
musicians.
okay, I think that at this point we will indeed take a break.
A brief break. We have to set the stage up. Yeah.
I have to explain that just due to the way the place is constructed, it'll take us a moment to set up. And it's right there. It's a few moments. It's not a long break.
Just go, take a break, stretch your legs, get a drink. Don't leave the theater because these guys are getting ready to perform for you, and it's gonna be amazing.